afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new episode here of your favorite sports talk show, Under Pressure. I am your host, as always, Nick Presto. Joining alongside me today, we have Aaron Mulligan, Josh Miller, and Luca Morello. Thank you guys so much. And of course, Billy, behind the scenes, always appreciated. So, guys, the first thing that we want to talk about in today's show is the NFL, and free agency has been heating up. A lot more attention has been drawn recently to a lot of wide receivers like Kenny Galladay, Will Fuller, Juju Smith Schuster, and more. And to kick things off, Luca, I want to know how you're feeling about the new wide receivers attaining a lot of attention.
Yeah, so in the offseason, there's a lot of talk with Juju Smith-Schuster. Where is he gonna go? There's TikTok stuff. Claypool's making TikTok saying, we're gonna keep Juju.
I saw
There's
those.
big saga. We weren't sure what was gonna happen. In the end, Juju signed a 1-year deal today, a couple hours ago, for worth $8 million. Now, that wasn't the amount necessarily he really, really wanted. I heard that the Ravens and other teams offered him more money,
The
but
Eagles as
for
well.
him, it was really about stay. Yes, they offered him a lot of money. They have a lot of cap space, but
Yeah.
I heard the Ravens offered a lot of money for him. He didn't really want to go there. He wanted to stay in Pittsburgh. And you know what? Honestly, going into free agency, I thought he was going to stay in Pittsburgh. I didn't see him going anywhere. It's really hard to believe seeing him in any other colors for me.
Now, he definitely boasted how much he loves Pittsburgh. If you saw on his Twitter as he signed that contract, he put the Wolf of Wall Street meme saying he's not leaving, he's staying in Pittsburgh. He loves it here, and I'm honestly upset about it because as a Jets fan, I really wanted to sign Juju, but of course, it never happens for our way for the Jets. But you live and you learn, I guess, and hopefully we can maybe sign Kenny Galladay still, who's out there. But Aaron, I'd love to swing it over to you now on your opinion on some of the new hotter free agents out there. I know Kenny Galladay is looking at the Giants now. That could be something.
Yeah, yeah. I do want to say I'm very happy for Juju. If the player's taking a pay cut, he really is showing that he wants to stay where he is. So I was really happy for him. He was offered 8 million from Kansas City, and that was the same amount as the Steelers offered him. So he obviously wanted to stay. As for Galladay, I'm very happy that he stepped foot in the Giants facility today. I'm very excited. I'm a little ticked off at the Ravens right now because I think it was like 7 hours ago, I saw it on Twitter that they contacted his agent.
Yeah.
To me, they need to back off because this is our territory right now, and we need him. If he gets on the team, this will just start a whole frenzy because we have Rudolph, and he has added now. So Galladay, Rudolph, this is such a beautiful rebuilding phase that we're in. I am so excited for the future. And I do have to say that I'm worried about Evan Ingram, because that was the first thing I thought of when they signed Rudolph. I was like, what's his
Mm.
future going to look like? But I think it could go either way, actually. He's so valuable when he's healthy, but that's the thing. He's very unreliable because he does get hurt so often. So I'm very happy about Galladay so far and Rudolph.
Yeah, no, I honestly thought the same thing too about Evan Ingram. I didn't know if maybe Kyle Rudolph was going to make him upset and make him believe that maybe he not might not be the tight end there for the future. But I think honestly it could work. I feel like the Giants could definitely do like a nice little two tight end set because Evan Ingram is definitely built more like a receiver. He's probably one of the quickest tight ends I've ever seen. And they can definitely use Kyle Rudolph, I feel like, as a blocking tight end, especially for Saquon. So if the Giants, especially if they sign Kenny Galladay,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be a little upset that they might be the better team in MetLife. But definitely there's a future there for the Giants, especially if they sign Galladay. But now moving on over,
Yeah.
Josh, I'd love to hear what you have to say now about all the new free agency acquisitions and the wide receiver sweepstakes.
I mean, I think for the most part, a lot of them weren't necessarily shocking to them. Chris Godwin was a person who went right back to the Buccaneers. Why wouldn't you after that win? But again, we keep on talking about Galladay as the big player, but I think he just has so much impact and potential that really teams are just going to be vying for him. And I love the fact that he is the last in like the top 10 or top 20 players that are still unsigned, and he's kind of playing this game of where am I going to go? But I have to say, like being where we are at in New Jersey, I gotta hope the Giants get him. I am super happy that he was at that training field, and I know Aaron's gonna be mad because Ravens fan, but like, yeah, I'm super happy to see him at the Giants, and I think that if they can pull it off, it'll just be a great season.
Yeah, I feel like it would definitely provide the help that Daniel Jones has really been needing, and it'll be great for his confidence because he'll have a real, true number one receiver to throw to. Another receiver that I definitely wanted to point out, unfortunately, he signed to our rival team, the Miami Dolphins. They acquired Will Fuller on a 1 year contract as well. Will Fuller had a little of a breakout season, but then of course he was shut down for the final 6 games of the season due to PEDs. But as the number one receiver, he was looking like a real deal like player with Deshaun Watson throwing to him. Now that he has an even younger quarterback in Tua, it's going to be really interesting to see how their chemistry grows and how they connect on the field right away. It could take a couple games. Honestly, hopefully it does, especially if they play the Jets. But I feel like if they get something going, Miami could have a little something brewing here for the future. And one more thing that I also wanted to point out is yes, my Jets. We signed Corey Davis to a 3 year, $36 million contract. I'm really excited about it because he was the number two behind AJ Brown. And now I feel like he can definitely get a chance to shine. He's the clear number one now of the Jets. So hopefully he provides us with a great season, maybe even more of a breakout season than he had last year when he had 900 yards almost and 6 touchdowns behind AJ Brown. So we'll see for that. Hopefully it goes our way, but of course we're the Jets, so we usually figure something out wrong. So
I'm
now,
pretty happy for you guys though.
I mean, yeah, I mean, we signed the linebacker from the Lions, Gerard Davis. We signed Corey Davis, and we signed that defensive lineman from the Bengals, Carl Lawson. I think he's going to be a definite immediate impact player for us on the line. So, and we definitely needed an edge rusher for the longest time. So, I mean, hopefully we can build something. I just hope we figured out with quarterback.
I mean, it's still the Jets, so you could screw it up.
The one thing
My
though with the Jets though, I'm really liking their head coach hire, Saleh. I mean, he hasn't had a head coach experience yet, but with the 49ers, he turned the 49ers defense that was dreadful, awful. 2, 3 years later, they're among top five in the league. So I think the Jets, they might have a really good defense next year. They're gonna definitely improve from what were they this year? 3-13.
two
I
and
can
four.
definitely see them at 2-14. But they're
Oh,
definitely gonna improve from last year. I can totally see that with Saleh head coach at the realm.
I
I
love
feel like the
Robert
Jets.
Saleh. You got Aaron.
Yeah, no, yeah, me too. I feel like the Jets for the past while, I guess, have been just trying to like it's like they're drowning and they're just trying to keep their head above the water. But now it feels like they've got their heads on right because Adam Gase had to go. He was
Yes,
hard to
gone.
look at in press conferences, and he was struggling, and he didn't know what to do with his players, I think, and there was no connection there at all. Yeah,
Yeah.
there was no chemistry. So I'm very, very happy for you guys. I grew up in a divided household. My mom's Jets, my dad's Giants, so I'm very happy for you.
Yeah, no, I love Robert Saleh. I think he was definitely the best head coach available at the time. And I'm really excited to see if he can turn our defense around because I know our defense has been pretty shaky, especially after we lost Jamal Adams. But now we are getting CJ Mosley back, who 2 years ago signed him to a 5 year, $86 million contract. And in that time, he has played one half of football. He got injured in the first half of the first game of the season of his contract, didn't play the whole rest of the year, then opted out for last year because of COVID. So this is going to be the first season. We already gave him 2 years. What is that, like 35 million almost without even touching the field, really. So hopefully, when he comes back, maybe he can be the player he was supposed to be for us. I mean, I'd be really upset if he
I think
wasn't. If not,
that's something interesting that no one's really talking about is how you have all these players that opted out of this season, and to
yes,
see them come back, and all they've been doing is training. And I know that's not the same thing as being on the field and being in the game, but like they've been sitting on the wings ready to go. And I'm excited to see the kind of damage some of these players can do.
yeah, no, you bring up a great point. There have been a lot of like impact players that have sat out this year. I know Donta Hightower also for the Patriots opted out of last year. So that's going to be a huge upgrade for them as well. And there's definitely a bunch more handful of players that I can't name off the top of my head. But if you guys know them, shout them out. But there's definitely a good amount of players that have opted out of this season that are impact players when they return this year.
Well, I was surprised the Giants brought Solder back, but I'm happy because he did opt out, and so he did really well on the Patriots, and now here he's a captain on the Giants. So I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah, the Giants are definitely going to need Soldier there. I know the problem the past few years with Daniel Dimes. I don't think he's that bad of a quarterback. I think he's average, but his thing is just when you don't give a quarterback time, it makes it very difficult. I mean, we saw in the Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes, arguably the best quarterback in the league. He couldn't do anything with no line. So adding Nate Soldier back, that's gonna be a big improvement, and help the Giants stay competitive next year.
I think that also boasts the importance that I feel like the second most important position in football is your offensive line. And that Patrick Mahomes Super Bowl effort completely showed why that's true. And that's what led them to signing, I believe it was Joe Thuney, to a record 5-year, $80 million contract to really boost the offensive line. And they grabbed Kyle Long, the old Chicago Bears offensive lineman, out of retirement for a 1-year contract just to protect Mahomes. That's definitely a smart play by the general manager to protect their franchise quarterback. And I think after that, let's move on to our next topic here in the NFL. Deshaun Watson. What is going on with this man? It's just the allegations against him have been insane. There have been multiple allegations against him regarding domestic violence and sexual assault and all that about him. Do you think like Deshaun Watson believes that this is completely false and he's not even worried about it? But my question is, do you guys think teams are going to worry about it and maybe stop pursuing him? So, Luca, I'll kick it off with you. Do you think any team is going to maybe stay away now from Deshaun Watson because of this stuff?
So prior to any of the allegations really happening, I really thought like a trade for Watson was going to go to the Bears. I thought the Bears had the best overall team that needed a quarterback, but we saw they couldn't get anything done. Then they tried going under Russell Wilson. The Colts made a move, got Carson Wentz. The
Yeah.
49ers committed Jimmy Garoppolo. So it's really like, what team's even going to try to get him at this point? And the only team that I can see is your team, the Jets. But with all these allegations, is a PR kind of side. I don't know if they do it. Watson, I think, might end up getting stuck in Houston where he's either playing while he doesn't want to play or just holding out or being suspended from his allegations and everything that's going on. I don't know. It's a really tough situation for Watson, and I don't know. It doesn't look good for him right now.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. It definitely doesn't look the best for him right now, but he doesn't seem too worried. That's why I'm not too worried about it because he doesn't seem too worried about it. But yeah, I mean, if Deshaun Watson goes to the Jets, whew, oh my goodness, we might be up there. I think at least 8-8 on the year, 6-win improvement right there. Robert Sala, the receiver, Corey Davis and Keelan Cole, who we also signed. Deshaun Watson at the helm now. We draft a good offensive lineman in the draft. I think we could definitely make a run for like a 7-9, 8-8 finish. So that would be ideal improvement. But yeah, Aaron, I'd love to swing it over to you now. Do you think teams are going to stray away now from Deshaun Watson, or do you think his talent is too much that this whole thing can be overlooked if it's all proven false? Of course.
Yeah, I don't see teams being overly worried about it because what comes to my mind is Tyreek Hill, right? He got in trouble with this multiple times, and there was a very thorough investigation into it, and it wasn't just um, towards his girlfriend; it was towards his child as well. So that was a very thorough investigation, and he's won a Super Bowl, right, in the past 2 years. So he stayed with the Chiefs, and they've been very adamant about how much they want him and they love him. And he's probably going to, I see him being there for the rest of his career. So I don't think teams are going to be all that worried about it. This is unfortunately a pretty common issue in the NFL. So I don't think it's going to be a major focus, but look at this year that Watson's had. He's trying so hard with every bit that's inside of his body to get out of Houston,
Yes.
and they want to keep him.
Yeah.
So it's a very tumultuous relationship down there. He's having a pretty rough year. He's lost JJ now, right? They were both trying to get out of there. JJ's out. He succeeded. And now Watson's really in a tough spot. So you're right. Since he doesn't seem that worried about it, I'm not that worried about it either. I think a lot more would be going on with his agent and whoever else he has publicity wise to kind of protect him. I mean, I think there are 12 allegations now, but then it gets really sticky with did these girls, how well did they know him?
Yeah.
What really went down? There needs to be a much more thorough investigation in on it. I don't think that teams are going to be worried or, just going to be focusing on it at all.
It's funny. There was one rumor I heard that apparently Deshaun Watson made that stuff up about himself just so Houston can release him. That's how badly he wants out. I'm pretty sure that's not true because I don't see anyone putting those kind of rumors on themselves. But if it's say for some reason that's true, that's how badly he wants out of Houston. Like, geez, like they gotta let him go. Like it's just time. Like they did
He
him
hates it.
very wrong. Yeah, I mean, sheesh. But but Josh, yeah, kicking it over to you. I would love to hear what you have to say about this whole thing with Deshaun
I
Watson.
think it's really funny that you guys keep on saying like if he's not worried, I'm not worried, but he can't afford to be worried. If he wants
Yeah,
to get out of Houston that badly, he can't afford to panic to even give any weight to these allegations. And I think the Tyreek Hill situation was a little bit different because yes, Tyreek Hill had it with his wife and his child, but like he only had the one allegation,
hmm
whereas we have with Watson 12, like you said, 12 right now. Like again, I don't know the credibility of any of them, but it does raise some flags. And while I don't think any teams are necessarily at the moment going to completely turn them away, I think they're certainly going to hold off a little while longer until some of this blows over. But then they might use it as a bargaining tool and say, "Hey, we'll get you out of Houston, but we'll charge less."
yeah.
You know what I mean? They'll cut a couple million. But again, like my whole thing with it is like it's unsettling to me that he's not worried about it because in my mind it's like, well, he can't afford to be.
Yeah, no, this is something that could potentially like ruin him for the rest of his career. Who knows? But he does not seem worried, so I don't think there should really be too much to worry about. Unless who knows, something else new could come out in the near future. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see on that. But to wrap things up here, that is it for the NFL section of this episode. Tune in a little bit when we come back from break as we talk about March Madness. Yes, it is March. You know what that means. It's time. Get those brackets ready. Stay tuned as we break it down for you guys.
When I'm lonely in the dark, I know you are with me, yeah.
And welcome back, guys, to Under Pressure here. Same cast, same crew, all returning. And now let's get right on into it. It is March, so you know what that means if you're a sports fan. March Madness. Get them brackets coming. It's time to pick them and hopefully win big. So March Madness this year is definitely going to be an exciting one, especially since we unfortunately did not have the tournament last year due to the pandemic. So this is definitely going to be a big uplifting vibe for many people of not even just college basketball fans, just a lot of the whole world loves college basketball and doing the tournament brackets and everything. This is definitely going to be a huge uplifting boost of just melatonin to everyone's day. And honestly, I believe that the first thing that we definitely have to talk about is which brackets are hopefully going to be going absolutely insane, or which teams do you think are you most confident in to win it all. So, Luca, I want to kick it off with you on which teams you think are definitely going to perform well in March and hopefully make a good run for the title.
So first to start off, my final four, I'm gonna go Gonzaga's gonna make it. I think all year that their coach as well, much March Madness experience, they're gonna make a run. Next, I have Michigan. I actually think Michigan's gonna win the whole thing. Now I know it's rumored. I saw on a lot of shows that Michigan has the hardest kind of track out of all the number one seeds, but I really like this Michigan basketball team. I mean, they're part of the Big Ten and arguably the best team in the Big Ten throughout the whole regular season. And honestly, the Big Ten was arguably the best basketball conference this year, which sounds really weird to say because that doesn't happen very often. But one player I really, really like on Michigan is their center, Hunter Dickinson. I know he's not your typical five-star freshman out of high school recruit, dunk on everyone, NBA bound, blocking all these shots. But like this guy's just, he puts in that effort plays. He's an insane rebounder. defensively and offensively in the post, he's deadly. He's just very consistent the whole season. And also their sophomore guard, Wagner, he's having a solid year controlling the tempo of that offense really well. And the big thing I think this year in March Madnesses, the past few March Madnesses, all the kind of one and done style teams like Kentucky and Duke, they haven't really won the tournament. So in March Madness, it kind of sometimes comes down to like which team has the most experience. And Michigan has 5 seniors that actively play on their roster that actually get in games. So I think that experience is going to be, really crucial for them. Now in this, I have Cinderella. I think Georgetown's going to make a run, the number 12 seed.
Interesting.
So I think, coming in the March Madness, it's really big of how you've been playing lately. And, Georgetown didn't start the year the greatest, but they went to the Big East tournament, number 8 seed. They won the whole thing. They beat Villanova, who's the 1 seed in the first round, and they won the final against number 2 Creighton by an insane score of 73-48. I know Patrick Ewing has that experience in March Madness as a player and can really relate with his players. So I don't know if Georgetown won't win the whole thing, but I definitely see them making a big run.
I honestly love that take because I also have Georgetown making it to my Sweet 16 in my own bracket. I love the fact that Patrick Ewing has definitely changed the culture there, and they've been playing amazing basketball as of late. And I really see them making a good couple games. And honestly, in the Sweet 16, I can see them giving a good fight, but I think they're ultimately going to fall. Another team that I definitely wanted to highlight and talk about is Florida State. I think Florida State is having an amazing season defensively. I think they're one of the best top 2 defensive teams in college basketball. And I definitely have them in my Final Four. I see them overtaking the number 1 seed, Michigan, who I also has a huge, amazing culture change now that Juwan Howard is the head coach there, who was part of the Fab Five in his time in Michigan. But yeah, I think Florida State is definitely going to take them down. I believe Iowa is going to be the team to defeat Gonzaga in the Elite Eight and take them down. I have Iowa and Florida State. And for the other side, I have Illinois and Baylor, the 2 1 seeds going at it for my Final Four. Another team, real quick, that I also wanted to highlight that I feel like doesn't get a lot of love, but they usually play really well tournament time is Maryland. Maryland is the 10 seed right now. They are matched up against the 7 seed UConn in the first round tomorrow at 7 o'clock. I believe, honestly, that they're going to win that game and then not only do that, but I believe they're going to take down Alabama in the second round as well. And I feel like that's going to upset a lot of people's brackets. But Maryland, I feel like it's just one of those teams that when it's tournament time, they lock in and they know what their objective is: win each game. Of course, that's obviously the objective for every team, but Maryland definitely locks in. So now moving over, Josh, I want to swing it over to you on your predictions for March Madness, your Final Four championship game. What you got?
So Final Four, I got Virginia versus Michigan. A little bit surprised. I know that Gonzaga's not in there, but I just have a really good feeling about this Virginia team. And then I got also Baylor versus Houston, with Baylor winning it all against Michigan in the Final Four. I mean, the championship. I know it's a little bit of a hot take. I do make my brackets somewhat. I don't always go for the number 1 seed just because, like, I feel like if you do that, you're just going to end up breaking your own heart later on. There's going to be some upset eventually, just going to kill you, much like the one today with Ohio State, which I know screwed up a lot of people's brackets. It screwed up my own.
Mine.
Because no one saw that coming.
Okay.
Yep.
I had not even heard of Roberts. What was it? Yeah, Roberts. I can't even remember the name. That's how so unfamiliar and out of nowhere this was. Oral Roberts. Yeah. So that was just an insane win. I believe it's I looked it up. It is the 9th time a 15 seed has ever beat a 2 seed.
That's insane.
In all of the NCAA tournament. It's now 9-132. So it was a crazy game to me. I think it's going to be one of the biggest upsets in the first round. And yeah, I think another thing that we kind of touched on a little bit in the NFL segment, but I think with this one too, is that a lot of these teams had such different schedules when it came to like just even playing at all. Some teams had less than 20 games, other had, over 20, 24 games. Um, but I think that's just such an interesting way to look at it because just some of them are just going to have more time on the court. I think they're going to be more comfortable. I think the players are going to feel better together. And I think just because of coronavirus and how a lot of teams had to sit out, this year's tournament's going to look a lot different than previous ones.
Honestly, you made a great point there. I feel like the pandemic, of course, is going to unfortunately play a role at some point in this tournament. And obviously, none of us want to see that. We want a clean, like no health related problems throughout the tournament. But unfortunately, it might not go that way. But yeah, like you just said before, I think not one of, I think it's definitely the biggest upset of the entire tournament. We just witnessed it with Oral Roberts, the 15 seed, taking down Ohio State, the 2 seed, 75-72. Absolutely nuts. I didn't see it coming. Really, nobody saw it coming. But congratulations, I guess, to Oral Roberts, as they will now be taking on the 7 seed Florida, who defeated the 10 seed Virginia Tech by 5 earlier today in the round of
If they
32.
can do it again, I'm never watching college basketball again. If
Oral
they can
Roberts,
pull off another win, I
Roberts.
will drop out of Mama's program right now and I will go to Oral Roberts.
Yep, I'm with you.
Honestly, I think I'm gonna get my Oral Roberts jersey now because unfortunately I picked Ohio State in my Final Four, and that just busted everything. My whole bracket's ruined,
Just fully
absolutely
commit,
ruined.
Luca.
I'm totally sad. You just, you know what? Screw it. I want to see them dance. I want to see them keep dancing. You know what? I think they're gonna win this next matchup. Go Oral Roberts.
They will be playing Florida at noon on the 21st, which is Sunday, right? Yeah. Yep, on
Yeah.
Sunday, they will be playing at noon against Florida, so I'm definitely gonna be watching that game to see if they can continue this. But one more moment that I wanted to highlight real quick, and then I'll kick it over to you, Aaron, is in the very first game of the day, Virginia Tech versus Florida. We saw one. I witnessed one of the craziest March Madness moments probably of the first round already in the very first game. There was 7 seconds left on the clock. Virginia Tech down by 3, in need of a three to tie the game and send it to overtime. And one of their players pulls up with 1 second left on the clock in Trey Mann's face from Florida, drains the shot. Everyone goes nuts. 1 second left on the clock. Florida couldn't get it off, and it goes to overtime. I remember his name is Naheem Aline, I believe, pulled up with 4 seconds left, drained it with 1 second left on the clock. It went to overtime. Unfortunately, they lost, but just the fact that first game, a buzzer beater already happens, it was nuts. But yeah, so Aaron, I would love to kick it over to you now to end all this with what you got for March Madness. Brackets, teams, what are you looking at?
So I pretty much just have teams because I'm not that into basketball, but for whatever reason, I enjoy March Madness more than the NBA. So I don't really have an explanation for that. But I love watching it. Yeah, I love watching Loyola Chicago because of Sister Jean. I just think she's their, lucky charm. And I always find myself rooting for Villanova ever since, the team with Archie and everyone. And other than that, I mean, we have friends that are Villanova fans. My fourth grade teacher, she went to Villanova, so I always rooted for them. But I really like to see Gonzaga and, like Lucas said, Michigan go really far and do really well. And what he said about Hunter Dickinson, I love a good underdog story, right? He was not looked at a lot out of high school. And so that's really exciting to watch. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on throughout the tournament, and it should be pretty good since the upset happened today. And so that says a lot for what the future holds for March Madness.
And real quick, I just want to highlight we will get into this. Excuse me. We will get into them shortly, but Loyola Chicago has just defeated Georgia Tech by 11, 71-60, and now advanced to the next round to take on the 1 seed Illinois. But also, real quick, another final score has just happened. 12 seed Oregon State has upset number 5 Tennessee 70-56. So Oregon State moves on to the round of 32 and will take on the winner of 4 seed Oklahoma State with Cade Cunningham, who I'm very excited to watch, and 13 seed Liberty. That game is tipping off very shortly. So now moving into the last topic we have here for the show, I wanted to get you guys' opinions on this amazing season that Gonzaga has had. Will Sister Jean bring Loyola Chicago a little more luck and possibly some more crazy outcomes and upsets that could happen, as we already saw Oral Roberts? So, Josh, I want to kick it off with you. Do you think Gonzaga is going to finish the season perfect, or do you think someone's going to take them down?
I mean, I have them losing to Virginia. I just think it's kind of too good to be true. I don't think that, or I think if they come up against any other number 1 seed, they're just gonna fall. I just don't think they have it in them. As for any other upsets, I'm just looking over my bracket again, but I think, again, Game Time, like I said earlier, is gonna have a big impression on what this bracket, what this whole tournament looks like, and how the feel of it is, and how the pacing of it is. Um, but yeah, I don't think there are going to be that many major upsets left. Again, they're going to be the close calls, like the Texas Tech Utah. Not that far off from each other. It was a close game. Texas Tech won.
Yes.
And then North Carolina versus Wisconsin. I think tonight that's going to be a really good game. But I think at the end, like North Carolina is going to win that. But yeah, that's my kind of take on it. Is that I just don't think Gonzaga has it in them. I think someone is just going to come along and beat them. That, or they're going to get too cocky, and they're going to feel too hot, and then get swept from underneath the rug.
Now, I actually have 2 teams left in my bracket that I think I didn't have them going any further than the next round, but I just for some reason wanted to pick them. I had number 13 seed North Texas upsetting Purdue for some reason. And I also, checking my bracket over again, I had Georgetown beating Colorado, the 12 seed beating a 5, and UCLA. They just won their first 4 game, so I believe that they're going to carry that momentum and honestly take down BYU. I have them losing in the next round to Texas, but I think UCLA can definitely make a little splash and possibly beat BYU. But yeah, moving on over, Luca, I'll swing it to you. Do you think Gonzaga is going to finish the season perfect? Or also, do you think Sister Jean could bring Loyola Chicago a lot more luck as they just had their first victory of the tournament?
So it's similar to what Josh said. I think it's too good to be true. I mean, I don't remember, and quote, let me know if I'm wrong. I don't think a team has gone completely undefeated and won March Madness. I don't know if that's happened before, and I feel like that'd be an incredible stat if it was.
I don't think it was true.
So I feel like that's just too much of a take for them. And March Madness, there's all sorts of madness that happens. There's crazy teams, and it's just they're gonna make a run. They're a very good basketball team. They have March Madness experience, but it's tough for me to say that a team's gonna win every single game the whole season when it hasn't been done before. So I think they're gonna get upset. And like Josh said before, he thinks another number 1 seed is gonna beat them. My bracket, I have Michigan beating them in the Final Four. I feel like Michigan and some other 1 seeds played against better competition in the regular season than Gonzaga necessarily did. Because I think in the championship, right, the only people in Gonzaga's conference that made it was them and BYU, if I'm correct. But there's more Big Ten teams and a little bit more competitive conferences. But Gonzaga will definitely make a run. I don't think they're going to go undefeated. With Loyola Chicago, I really hope they win games. They have such a great story. Sister Jean, I mean, honestly, that was my favorite part about March Madness a couple years ago. It's just a Cinderella kind of story that we never really seen prior.
Incredible.
Unbelievable. I loved every second of it. But this year, I think going against number 1 Illinois in the round of 32, that's too big of a task. I mean, Illinois just has insane players all around. I don't know if they can compete with that. I'll be rooting for them, but I can't see them going further and beating Illinois.
Now, I'm not going to lie. I would love to see Loyola Chicago make a nice little run again for Sister Jean, but I have Illinois actually as my champion. I have Illinois winning the entire thing. I have them beating Baylor in the Final Four and Florida State beating Iowa, and I have Illinois defeating Florida State in the championship game. So unfortunately, I would love to see another little Cinderella story, but I don't think it's Loyola Chicago's year this year with the way they've been seeded as the 8 seed to take on 1 seed Illinois. But one more team I also wanted to highlight that I feel like could make a little Cinderella run this year is 11 seed Syracuse. I'm confident in their abilities. They know how to play when it's tournament time. They're a very experienced team when it comes to March Madness. I actually have them upsetting San Diego State in the first round, and I have them upsetting West Virginia in the round of 32, only to follow it up by defeating Houston in the Sweet 16. And then I ultimately have them losing to Illinois, my eventual champions, in the Elite Eight. I think Syracuse is going to be that team this year to hopefully make a good run and make it like a Cinderella type of run for the championship. But I think they're definitely going to fall short. But they're definitely my team to watch as the underdog story for this year. And Aaron, I would love to now swing it over to you on what your take is. Do you think Gonzaga is going to go perfect? Is Sister Jean going to bring some more love to Loyola Chicago? Is there any more upsets in line for the future? Let's hear it.
Loyola Chicago, I think they are having some trouble because of their seed, but I think they're a team that's more focused on their grit and their heart and Sister Jean,
Yes.
as opposed to the analytics and the stats. So I would really like to see them do well, but with Gonzaga, they've got guys like Corey Kispert, Jalen Suggs, and I don't remember how to pronounce his name, but it's Drew Timme, I think. And so they've got what was it?
Oh no, I'm pretty sure you were correct. Yes, with his pronunciation.
Okay. So with those guys, I think they can really go far. I would love to see them go undefeated personally. I just think that would be obviously historic and exciting to watch, especially during COVID and everything. It would be a really great event to watch. But I'm not really sure if they can do it, but I'd really like to see it.
Yeah, no, I honestly agree with what you guys all said. I believe it's too good to be true. I just think Gonzaga is a fantastic team. But yeah, Luca, going back to what you said before, the closest a team got to perfection was actually Larry Bird in 1979 with Indiana State. He was perfect in the regular season and lost in the title game to Magic Johnson.
God, that's the most brutal, but yet also rewarding. But like, at least it's to Magic Johnson, but at the same time, like that is crushing.
Yeah, it just stemmed Larry Bird's and Magic Johnson's rivalry from college and what led to their insane rivalry in the 80s. But yeah, that was the only time, the closest a team got. Bird was one game from perfection till Magic took it from him. So, I mean, we could possibly see some kind of run with Gonzaga. I definitely give them until the Elite Eight, but I think, unfortunately, I don't think they have enough of what it takes, that true star power to really get over the hump and finish with a perfect record, especially since it's not just any time of basketball they're playing. This is March. Anybody can beat anybody on any given day. What really matters at the end of the day is who comes to play, who shows up when it matters most. And we saw it already with Oral Roberts taking down Ohio State. Ohio State should have wiped the floor with them completely. Oral Roberts said, we're here to play. We're here to win. And they took him down. I'm sorry, Luca, to bring it up. I know it messed up your bracket, but it's just nuts because it's like Josh said before, the 9th time now in history a 15 seed has taken down a 2. So, insane. But that's why it's March Madness. And with all of that being said, I think that is now the end of our show here tonight. So I want to thank Aaron, Josh, and Luca. You guys were awesome. Thank you so much for coming out and being a part of the show tonight. Billy, thank you for everything you do behind the scenes. Always appreciated. And I am your host, Nick Presto. Thank you again for tuning in, and stay tuned next week for another episode. Have a good night.
How did I get here? When I'm lonely when I'm lonely in the dark. I know you are with me, yeah. Don't you see that I need you so much? Don't you see that I love you so much? Oh na 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 na, oh na 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 na, darling, I need your love. Oh na 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 na, oh na 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 na, darling, I need your love.